I asked over 400,000 viewers to vote for up to 10 Gen 9 Pokemon to ban from my hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Scarlet. And once all the votes were counted up, any poor, unfortunate soul in the top half was snapped away. RIP Marvel, wish you still made movies. And in addition to my standard Gen 9 hardcore Nuzlocke rules, I banned both setup moves and damage calculations. But with all that, we're ready to get started. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Shh. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. My run begins on Poco Path, where I get the starter of my dreams. No, not Sprigatito, the #1 most voted Pokemon, and not Fuecoco or Quaxley either. The first Pokemon that you guys allowed me to get is Lechonk. Welcome to the team, Spiderham. From here, I head to South Province Area 1 to find our next encounter. Pizza Dog the Fido, you are exactly what we need. Not for nothing, having a fairy type on the team is hopefully going to be a real asset moving forward. Anyways, we bring our two-man team up to the first rival fight, where I square off against Nemona. Spiderham squashes her spicy starter, but gets shocked pretty hard by an angry terastallizing Pawmi, simply tail whipping before having to switch out. And unfortunately, that Pawmi proceeds to destroy everything I've ever loved. Pizza Dog, Spiderham, my dignity. But the thing about loved ones is that they're replaceable, and in attempt 2, I find a secret weapon. Because buried in the shadows of Cabo Poco is a venomous beast so deadly, no one dares catch him. Even I don't want to catch him, but I do. Man Spider the Tarantula. Some are calling him the missing piece. Back at Nemona, after some painless grinding. Oh my god, this guy sucks. Oh, there's no way he can kill that Psyduck. What a little punk-ass piece of crap. This guy's so bad, we're sacrificing him. All right, Man Spider, I really need you. I really want to be done with this. Can you find something that you can kill? Can you kill whatever that is? You're so bad, Spidops. You're so bad. You can't kill... Oh my god. I think it might be a mercy kill just to put this Spidops out of its misery. The terastallizing Pawmi once again comes out, and I send in the Beast. Does Man Spider almost die to 2 Thunder Shocks? No, not even close. String Shot cuts Pawmi's speed in half so that even after Thunder Shock paralyzes Pizza Dog, we still outspeed our opponent and deliver the final blow. So with Nemona behind us, we officially set a new attempt record. This is the run. There are some battles in the courtyard of Mesa Goza, and Nemona teaches us how to terastallize, but I won't be stooping to her level. I've been gimmick-free since 03, and I intend to keep it that way. Okay, except Z moves, I use those, and sometimes Dynamax. And Mega. Okay, let's focus on this playthrough, yeah? After hanging out at Naranja Academy and making some friends, we eventually pave our way to the arid landscape of South Province Area 2 and encounter a horde of Mastiffs. And here I learn that Pizza Dog is either A, very territorial of her status as top dog, or B, a little overeager to play with her new friend. Hey, careful there, Pizza Dog. I guess we'll never know Pizza Dog's true intentions, but regardless, Lockjaw joins the team. The next step for us is overcoming the first gym leader, though we're gonna need some levels before even attempting to take down Katie. And auto-battling is fun until I run into an invincible Igglybuff. Is that shiny? Ah, I'm so good at this game. Well, for shits and giggles, I catch her, name her Poopy Crap, and stick her in the box to never be seen or heard from again. Life is good. From here, I evolved Man Spider and set my personal world record in the olive roll test by enacting what experts are calling the Flag on HG maneuver. Katie, not a proponent of my excellent puzzlery, challenges me to a gym battle in Cortondo to halt us in our tracks. And then she summons rain out of nowhere. Is Katie Zeus or Poseidon?
Or a frog? I open with Manspider, slamming some bug bites and dropping Nimble to force out Tarantula. Needless to say, he doesn't even sniff us before dying himself. Katie's Ace, a bug terastallized Teddy Ursa, doesn't do that much damage to Manspider with Fury Cutter, but it is enough to force us out of the battle and bring in Pizza Dog.
So, chat, you might be thinking, oh my god, Flygon, it's not raining anymore, right? Psych! It's still raining because this game is stupid. This is a stupid game.
So, unfortunately, that means that Firefang is doing nerf damage here, but with Flinch and Burn Chance, it's still our best move, right?
Nope.
Well, I try again, and Firefang does no damage, but at least we get the flinch. I Tail Whip to drop our foe's defense, and then the teddy bear rips another Fury Cutter. Okay, be honest, did you know that Flinch wouldn't stop Fury Cutter from building cumulative power? Because I didn't, and it means that I've now got to do the unthinkable.
Spider-Ham, my sweet girl, 95% chance for you to just die here, Spider-Ham. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. I mean, I do, but I don't make these rules. Rest in pieces, Spider-Ham.
With our beloved starter 6 feet under, I'm slightly comforted by the fact that her sacrifice was not in vain, because Lockjaw slams the defense drop Teddy Ursa for one final blow. With that, we had secured our very first gym badge. And like Russell from Up, weird reference, but just roll with me, I find myself quite fond of these little things, so I decide to make it my mission to find more. On the way, I encounter the Paldean Pepper Pokemon Capsakid and immediately pocket the grass type. I also snag Claw the Klawf, and have you guys heard this thing's cry?
All right, I want everybody to close your eyes, and you're gonna guess whether it was me or Klawf. Close your eyes. All right, was it Klawf or was it me?
Look, even with him on the team, nothing could have prepared me for the showdown against the almighty Stony Cliff Titan.
Okay, for starters, I guess we're gonna bite. Oh, shit. That's not good, chat. Okay, come on. Just don't rock smash. Lockjaw, no! Why did it crit? Oh!
In desperation, I try to run. I try to switch. I try everything to save poor Lockjaw. But I can't. I'm in shock, and my team is devastated. Well, except for Pizza Dog, who's taking this surprisingly well. Regardless, we have a second round against the Stony Cliff Titan, this time aided by Arven, but after our hulking foe botches his first attack, we run away with the victory through a blitz of Rock Tombs from Claw and Water Gun assists from Arven's Shelter. Nevertheless, it's Pizza Dog who's on the floor for the final blow and to take all the credit. Coincidence? Maybe. Arven holds a picnic for us where we hang out with everyone's favorite dragon, definitely read all of this dialogue, and then depart to take on the next gym challenge. You know, I love this little Sunflora hide-and-seek game. Look at them running around so blissfully with the frame rate of a game that was made for the console it was released on. And even though we complete that puzzle and can take on the gym leader immediately, I can't help but feel like there might be an encounter who could help us out a lot. Also, I just need to level up, so while exploring and auto-battling in East Province Area 1, I run into our next encounter, Tadbulb. Welcome to the team, Zappy Guy. I'll name you Thor. You guys kind of look similar, if you squint, and are blind. With this guy on the team, I sprint as fast as I can to the top of a windmill where I know I can locate a Thunderstone. Thor now even more resembles the superhero we know and love, and is gonna serve as one of our more powerful weapons moving forward. Hey, Flygon! Oh, what's up, Garchomp FJ? How's married life? Oh, it's peachy. Just a bunch of peaches everywhere you look. Peaches all the way down. But the wife's making me clear out some old stuff from the bachelor days, so I was wondering if you wanted my Pokemon cards collection. Oh, that's really generous. Thank you. And it just so happens that I too am giving away Pokemon cards thanks to the sponsor of this video, Whatnot. See, Whatnot is a live stream shopping platform where you can buy, sell, and auction pretty much anything. And they hooked me up with $500 to buy all sorts of Pokemon cards in packs that will all go to one of you. Honestly, I had a ton of fun using Whatnot. The entire experience from placing bids to tracking purchases is seamless. Everything is completely transparent because you get to see footage of the cards you're buying, and the sellers are always interacting with the viewers so that you can get a feel for who you're buying from. I very quickly found my favorite seller and was able to get some gorgeous cards at a great price. So if you want to enter my giveaway, just leave your Whatnot username in the comment section down below and I'll pick a random lucky winner. I'll even throw in a signed card from Garchomp FJ's personal collection.
Hey, that was a gift!
Well, this is awkward. If you haven't created a Whatnot account before, don't worry, because you can do so for free by using my link, and if you do, you'll get $15 off your first purchase anywhere on the app. As always, please shop and bid responsibly, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to individual sellers. Thanks so much to Whatnot for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the challenge. With a few more levels, our team's now ready to take on Artazon's gym leader Brassius, whose grass-type Pokemon are mostly non-threats to my team. He opens with a lowly Petilil, who Man-Spider snacks on first turn before dodging a Sleep Powder with the incredible Insomnia ability and chomping down one more time en route to a quick defeat. Then it's Smoliv, and I just feel bad. I don't know what Brassius thought this guy was gonna do to anyone. Sudowoodo is last, and anticipating a Trailblaze turn, I Silk Trap with Man-Spider to give my opponent exactly the opposite of what he wants, a speed drop. By utilizing Bug Bite, then Silk Trap again back and forth, I'm able to maintain the speed advantage and dog walk this goofy little fake tree. See, the AI will never use Rock Tomb unless it sees a kill, as it will always go for the speed boost until it's faster. The bad news for Sudowoodo is that that day never comes. Good night, sweet prince, and good morning, badge number 2. Moving on with our quest, we scale a big mountain with rocks billowing down Donkey Kong style before meeting up with the giant bird at the top. I'll be honest, between Thor and Claw, this is a cakewalk. Arven helps a little, I guess, and then we once again stuff our dragon with gluten in a nearby cavern, and things are looking up. I do a little exploring to try and fill that empty pig-shaped team slot, stumbling upon a measly little Shroodle in South Province Area 4. Rogue joins the team, sporting the Unburden ability, which doubles her speed once she uses her held item. Will that be useful? Who knows? I try venturing into this valley and get stopped by Clive and Cassiopeia. They have nothing important to say to me, so I approach a cute gated community within the ridge. Here we meet 2 Team Star Grunts whose Dark-type Pokemon were no match for Pizza Dog's brilliant type advantage, and then we infiltrate the base. Auto-battling 30 wild Pokemon is no issue, obviously, and so Big Boss Man Giacomo introduces himself on a Revavroom party bus. Thor's static procs on the very first Fury Cutter from Pawniard, and with a few sparks, which do a whole lot of nothing individually, deliver a solid KO. With the Sagan Starmobile now attacking on their own, I send in Claw. It doesn't go great, but at least Claw is able to drop their defense on his way out the door. So I feel like it's an appropriate time to send Thor back in to fire off even more damage with Spark. After that, swapping into our Vicious Puppy for the assassination on this rejected Cars 2 character works to perfection, and our story moves on. With a Firestone, Cap evolves, becoming a 2-headed flamethrower-wielding warrior. And then my next encounter is this wiry Noodlemon, so I decide to test my new move out. I mean, Wiglet resists Flamethrower, right?
Oh my god, that Pokemon's terrible.
Well, avoiding a burn and a crit means I can safely catch this thing and name him Morph. He's got a timid nature, which means that the physical attack stat this bozo relies on is going to be notably worse than normal, so I stuff him in the box and don't plan to bring him to anything ever. Next, we find a Dudunsparce, who's an eligible encounter because of his sweet new Gen 9 evolution. Levincia City, the buzzy, beautiful, and bustling capital of the Paldean region. It's a bummer Nemona's here to sour the mood with a battle. I don't have a problem with her Rock Ruff, but this stupid rodent Pawmi has a great matchup against my entire team. Fortunately, it doesn't matter since Pawmi spams charge over and over again until Manspider chomps his way through. Nemona's ace Crocalor steps in as we swap into the Thing. That's right, he's making his debut. Surprisingly, Ancient Power does not give me an Omni boost, so I have to switch into Klawf. Then, unfortunately, Yawn puts us in a bad position. I have to attack, but with Crocalor on the brink of falling, our opponent is now boosted by his Blaze ability. Incinerate doesn't do that much damage, but when Claw fails to wake up and a second Incinerate hits, we're now in trouble, as our Anger Shell ability drops our special defense. So on death's door, I beg Claw to wake up, and he does. With Nemona behind us once more, it's Iono that holds the keys to the next gym badge. Admittedly, this is one of the more challenging fights in the entire series, with an Electric Terra Levitate Mismagius sitting in the back as her ace. Still, I feel like our team of misfits can compete if we play things well. Iono opens with Wugtrio, who I combat with Claw. Thanks to a glaring type advantage and the speedier Mon, we thump the little bird and bring out Bellibolt. The Chunkster tanks a Bulldoze like it was nothing, then rocks our Claw with a blistering water gun, dropping us just below half health with a critical hit. If it weren't for Anger Shell dropping my stats, I probably could stay in another turn. Alas, facing potential tragedy, I swap into Thor to wall the beast across from us. And that matchup goes incredibly well. We have the superior belly by an extra wide margin, and Thor even takes down the ensuing Luxio in his reign of terror. So with that, we finally meet the almighty Mismagius. Terastallized and glowing with her dumb Thomas Edison hat, I get Thor out of there in favor of the Thing and prepare to give her hell. Hey, did you know that electric types can't be paralyzed even by glare? I mean, I do. I just wanted to give Iono a shot here. My objective here is purely to burn turns until she completely runs out of moves. It takes 100 days in hardcore Minecraft, but eventually Mismagius is out of options. I send in our most bloodthirsty ally to snatch the ghost's soul, and Pizza Dog completes the truly difficult mission of letting the opponent struggle to death. 3 badges, baby, that's almost all of them. Pizza Dog evolves into Dachsbun, Morph evolves into Wugtrio, yay! And we discover another Team Star hideout that needs a bludgeoning. Through 30 auto battle victories, we scare Mela into introducing herself to hold her ground. Thor isn't taking on Torkoal on his own, so Pizza Dog has to clean up the scraps with her fire immunity. And giving her leftovers here means we're taking basically no damage, but we really aren't doing any either. Hoping Claw can produce real results with super effective bulldozers, I send in the crab to help out, which makes Pizza Dog mad because it implies that she's not strong enough to win this one by herself. And really, the last thing I need is to have that dog on the wrong side of my back pocket. So once the Starmobile is low enough, I send her back in and she quickly turns the poor bastard into the world's largest chew toy. Just look at Pizza Dog's eyes. It's pure anger in there. Oh, hey, a Brambleghast. I'll name you Agatha. The lurking Steel Titan, aka Big Beady-Eyed Tunnel Noodle, was the next challenge for us, but Cap one-shots him in the first iteration, and then two-shots him in the second, even in the rain. Arvind is again here with us, loafing up our dragon and sending us on our way. We catch Venom the Giraffarage, and also stop into Porto Marinada. There we throw down with some of the locals in our best effort to get Kofu, the next gym leader, back to where he belongs. And it works. He says something about, well, I don't know, I didn't read this. I just know that I need to follow him back to Cascarrafa. On my way there, I stop in the Asado Desert and catch myself my very own beady-eyed tunnel noodle. With Earth Eater and a Steel typing, our new friend Ironheart comes with 2 immunities and a lower attack stat than a Farfetch'd. I'm gonna go walk Agatha. After she evolves into Brambleghast, I read one of the more terrifying Pokédex entries in the series, certifying that our ghost plant is the second most intimidating member of the roster. Rogue turns into Grafaiai as well, and then our fight against Cascarrafa's burly fisherman begins. Agatha is who I open up with, which isn't what I meant to do, but Agatha outspeeds and 4-shot bullet seeds the frail Vuvuzela, which means that we get to see Wugtrio next. Tanking the water pulse, we line up bullet seed once more, this time simply 2-shotting the enemy. And you might be thinking, uh-oh, Crabomobobid blah 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 is on the floor and an ice type, which means that staying in with Agatha is stupid, right? Well, they didn't give the crab any ice moves. So feeling confident, Agatha goes for Mega Drain, which does good damage. And then,
How much does this do? It's not gonna do nothing. Jesus H. Christ, that was a crit, right?
yeah, I get Agatha a million miles away from that, and by swapping through Ironheart to bring in Morph for a gooey speed drop, I can hopefully ensure that Thor is faster once he hits the field. Swallowing Slam like a champ and paralyzing the crab in the process, thereby rendering Morph's contribution to the fight completely moot, Thor slices through the punchy crustacean like a perfectly cooked fish fillet, and we're moving on with our adventure without any more deaths. Both our giraffe and whatever a Dudunsparce is evolve into their new forms as I head to the Navi starbase to show them who runs this region. Hint, it's Pizza Dog. Our opponents in this hideout put the ass in Ghastly. And we meet Atticus at the helm of their operation. This guy looks like he stinks at battles, and by swapping all around while his Skuntank rips through Sucker Punches, we affirm that sentiment pretty quickly. Once Sucker Punch-less, Ironheart is entirely immune to the rest of our foe's attacks and runs circles around him. I almost feel bad because Revavroom comes out next and tries to bulldoze us, but we literally eat it like a delicious key lime pie. Little extra strategy here, by using Dig instead of Bulldoze, I'm able to buy a couple extra turns to recover with leftovers. Though this is all just marginal optimization, as the ensuing Muck can't touch Ironheart either, meaning that she's sitting at full HP for the next portion of the fight. The final boss, Revavroom, does have Flame Charge, but the incredible physical bulk of Ironheart mops up each hit as we chip away with dig after dig until ultimately delivering the final blow. So off to Normal Town. I find boring handsome man Larry inside his kitchen gym and take the opportunity to secure my 5th gym badge. Ironheart's steel typing proves incredibly valuable against the opening Komala, though the guy does manage to put us to sleep via yawn as Dudunsparce comes in. Agatha's bullet seeds punch Dudunsparce, and once Ironheart wakes up, she clocks our foe with a couple of iron heads, which means that Staraptor now takes center stage. I switch to Claw using Rock Smash and Rock Tomb for good damage as well as the speed advantage. So from there, I can bring Ironheart back in, Ironhead the bird an inch away from death, and then finally, just to add insult to injury, bury him with a bulldoze. How's it feel to lose your flying type to some dirt, Larry? Like a loser? Geeta and Nemona crash the after party, where Nemona unfortunately reminds me of my promise to skirmish with her from earlier and redeems that fight like a coupon immediately. Fortunately, we demolish every mon in this fight, barring the final Skeledirge, for whom I have to bring out the big guns. But Dig from Pizza Dog overwhelms the Ouija lizard, and we get to explore Paldea once more in pursuit of those precious gym badges. Look, a Cetitan. I will name you Emma Frost. Out in the West Paldean Sea, I encounter Bombirdier, or Gambit, as our next member of the team. Then I scale Glaciado Mountain to pave my way to Montenevera City and the local gym. With ghost types in front of us and an ever-changing roster, I elect to bench Pizza Dog for the first time in the run. The gym trial is a few double battles that we're able to make light work of with Gambit and Venom. We do have to survive a mock Hindenburg experience from an inconsiderate Driftblim, but that doesn't matter. And with that, it's time to square off against Rhyme. Gambit and Venom vs Banette and Mimikyu. Thief does some damage and Crunch sees us through. With Houndstone out, I swap Ironheart in. Rhyme stats rising as the crowd shouts win. Gambit drops the stone with a brutal payback, and Ironhead proves a lethal attack. With Just Talks left, I roll the dice, a brave double target to keep Rhyme on ice. The Terra is scary, will Gambit die? Faster boosted Thief rocks the guy. With no mons left, just like the Knicks, Rhyme goes down and wins me badge 6. I make my way to Alfornada, where Nemona wants to check her skills once more. As previous battles have gone, it just isn't close. Once again, we complete the mission by sending in the fire immune pizza dog, who was glad to be back on the squad and doing what she loves most, killing. The gym challenge in Alfornada is an extremely simplified version of Simon Says, but believe me I get into it. Everybody stand up! Smile! Smile! Anger! Excitement! Excitement! Anger! Obviously, I'm beyond successful at this trial, and then I make a quick pit stop to the Asado Desert to tie away some loose ends while I can. I still haven't defeated the quaking Earth Titan, but given that I'm over-prepared at this point, I plan to get in and out of this one with ease.
Oh! What?
Anger! Honestly, I hate ghost types. Who needs them? I certainly don't. Besides, when things go wrong, all I gotta do is send in Pizza Dog to clean things up, and she rips Great Tusk into a million pieces. Now, regardless of how objectively terrible ghost types are, Agatha was an incredible member of the team, and I will miss her dearly. Though the good news is that I get to express my anger by beating the snot out of Great Tusk for a second time. Venom leverages twin beams to just shred this ugly, dumb, smelly, stinky, stupid, ugly, dumb elephant. And I'm gonna reiterate ugly one more time before I move on with this challenge. Arven gets to chefing, so now I can fly!
He can fly! He can fly!
Oh, and unrelatedly, I welcome Caliban the Glimmet onto the team. Back in Alfornada, I decide it's time to take on Tulip, whose psychic types are gonna be a challenge for my squad. Gambit opens and double taps Farigiraf, but with Tulip sending in her fairy type second, I switch to Ironheart, which, dear God, that's an insane amount of damage. Well, knowing that she's dead if I leave Ironheart in, I switch to Ol' Reliable Pizza Dog.
Jesus!
Thanks to our wide lens here, I could rip a Play Rough with 99% confidence, which gets the KO on Gardevoir and brings in Espathra, who Gambit can again freely counter, which leaves one Pokemon left. Florges is confusingly strong, and I bring in Venom, who's holding an Assault Vest, but the damage from Tulip's Ace is just crazy. A second Moonblast brings Farigiraf to the brink of falling, and while Crunch does good damage, and even gets the defense drop, what am I supposed to do here? I could send in Emma Frost to try and get the KO with Ice Spinner, but if that doesn't work, in desperation, back against the wall, I just leave Venom in.
Come on, Venom! No!
Well, Gambit does his job by taking the kill with another thief, and we collect our 7th badge. But I'm so sorry, Venom. You were excellent. Okay, well, excellent is a stretch because there's no way you should have died to 3 Moonblast hits while holding an Assault Vest. I'm inclined to pin the blame on you for that one, but nevertheless, it goes without saying.
I won't forget you, buddy.
Venturing towards the 8th gym, I train our Pokemon up and secure Glimmet's evolution, Glimmora. Then, at the top of the snowiest mountain in all of Paldea, I hit the slopes, affirming my qualifications and capabilities for the next gym challenge, as a good slide down a mountain logically should. In roughly 1 to 2 hits apiece, Grusha's ice types fold without a problem, which means that we now have every badge in the game, and yet the game is far from over, with several major obstacles still standing in our path. The first being the penultimate Team Starbase, where some guy named Harrington challenges us to a battle, and there's no way this guy is packing a punch, right? Right. Likewise, Opie's entire team crumbles like the top of a freshly baked coffee cake. The Pixie Mobile draws things out by going for confusions, but Ironheart is simply too locked in, connecting with 4 Ironheads in a row to kill the Teenage Mutant Fairy truck. So we're off. First to the snowy slopes near Montenevera, where I snag Quicksilver the Verurum, whose jolly nature that boosts speed and lowers special attack is damn near perfect for the physical attacking steel poison type. He evolves almost immediately into Revavroom as I take to the 7 Seas for the final encounter of the run.
Oh, shit! Wait, this is stupid. This is a psychic type, right?
You know, I can't pretend that Rogue was a big part of the team, but that was completely and utterly stupid. At the very least, I can fly to a big pond for a second chance at snagging Vuvuzela, and with the help of a critical capture, Jeff joins the team. She's gonna be awesome, especially with the fighting team starbase right around the corner. After some time grinding levels, we approach the Scrappy Gates to find Carmen. And I mean, she can't be any worse than Harrington was, right? A measly Krogunk and a Primeape?
Oh no! No, 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 no! No! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! How did that not kill?
Alright, well, crisis averted. Once again, we mop up the auto battle sim and demand to see the manager of this little hideout. Eerie takes the stage, standing tall on her engine-powered boxing wagon. And there's only one opener I can think to start this battle with. The cold, the ruthless, Pizza Dog. Now, Eerie does open with Toxicroak, and you might be thinking, wait, Flygon, isn't that a bad matchup? Yes, it is. But it's also intentional, because by switching into Caliban, we quad-resist Poison Jab and initiate his Toxic Debris ability, spreading spikes on Eerie's side of the field.
Alright, I kind of don't have a plan after this, if I'm being entirely honest.
Hey, way to keep up the fachade, my guy. Well, I send in Jeff on a brick break, and then stall the frog out of Sucker Punches by spamming Protect, which also lets me bring my fish back up to full HP. Jeff's not faster than Toxicroak, which is criminal, but at least a Psycho Cut puts him in the ground and sends out Passimian. Swapping into Gambit, I play my cards as best as I can. I try to test the speed of our opponent by going for Protect. Since Passimian opts for close combat instead of speed control via Rock Tomb, I conclude that he's likely faster. And even though close combat may take Gambit out with a crit, I decide to just risk it.
Are we faster? I don't think we are. Oh, we are faster! Let's go, way to throw, Passimian. Okay.
Annihilate comes out next and threatens Gambit pretty hard with Ice Punch, but I protect and he doesn't use Ice Punch, he uses Close Combat, which is excellent because here's the line. By first switching into Man-Spider, we're able to Silk Trap, thereby dropping our opponent's speed. So now that we bait Fire Punch, I can bring in Pizza Dog for free, even gaining a defense boost in the process. And that extra heat changes Pizza Dog. After fragging Annihilate and snacking on the ensuing Lucario, the once limelight-obsessed Pizza Dog, for the first time ever, opts to share the glory, using a series of charms such that Jeff is safe to properly finish the fight, even with the Starmobile's stamina ability boosting their defense after every hit. Unfortunately, Jeff does proceed to land like 7 critical hitless Psycho Cuts in a row, and I definitely lose my mind a little bit in the process. But at the end of the day, she manages to bring us home the victory. Pizza Dog and Jeff, the indisputable heroes of the Pokemon Scarlet Snaplock. You know, if you ignore the hours of gameplay left in front of us. Don Bozo, the false Dragon Titan, is next, and I mean, Thor just eviscerates him. Heinous blob on blob butt kicking. And the second iteration of the fight is no different, as Thor dominates with Discharge, taking care to pay no mind to the health and safety of our temporary ally. Oh, surprise, it's actually Tatsugiri that's the Titan, so Pizza Dog makes light work of the itty bitty fishy wishy before Arvin teaches us how to eat more bread and feed our dragon. Thanks! With no more gyms, team starbases, or titans to defeat, it's time for me to fight the Elite Four. However, en route via Mesa Goza, Clive shows up, reveals himself to be Clavel, Sacre Bleu, and even claims to be Cassiopeia, which means it's time for a showdown that I definitely put a lot of time into thinking about. Oranguru can't hang with Gambit, taking damage the first turn before yawning, and then dying on the second. And though this means that Gambit falls asleep, a little Chestoberry brings him right back. Abomasnow takes the stage second, and I have Quicksilver step in as Aurora Veil goes up. Slowly chipping away with Gunk Shot and Ironhead, we eventually drop Barak, bringing in Gyarados third. And who better to best the Water Worm than our Earthworm? Oh, Orthworm sounds like... wow. Incredible stuff. Partnering Smackdown with Bulldoze, we gain the speed advantage, utilizing 2 more Smackdowns to win the matchup. Pizza Dog then works a pivot on a Flamethrower from Houndoom, and Caliban walks in essentially for free on Sludge Bomb before getting slammed with a Dark Pulse that flinches. At this point, I gotta take some risks, starting first with Caliban to get off at least a little bit of damage, and that works out. But now what? Sacrifice something to get another Mon in for free? Is anything I have even faster than Houndoom? Clearly what I need is a hero. So go get him, Pizza Dog. With a brilliant play rough, she outspeeds and pulverizes the Devil Dog, bringing in Poltegeist as Clavel's penultimate Pokemon. I switch to Gambit as Poltegeist uses Will-O-Wisp, preventing a knockoff from getting the Oko and letting our foe set up with Shell Smash.
All right, don't crit here, amigo.
Yeah, that wasn't close at all. With just Meowscarada left, I send in Cap to easily win the 1v1. He can do this all day. Out of my way, Clavel. Here's the team of 6 that'll be facing off against the Paldean Elite Four. Thor, our shocking anchor, who's been consistently one of the top performers throughout the entire run. Cap, our only fire type and one of my oldest teammates. Quicksilver, though new, an extremely important member of the team thanks to their steel poison typing. Ironheart, the steel yet ground immune power champ that served as an excellent wall time and time again. Emma Frost, who hasn't done much, but the bulky ice type does have offensive prowess that I can't find anywhere else in my box. And of course, the final slot is filled by our once angry, now redeemed Honeydew Hound, Pizza Dog. From early game beta to mid game menace to late game legend, there's no Pokemon better suited to be the leader of our team. So without any further ado, the Elite Four. After passing Rika's oh-so-hard interview, she becomes my first opponent. Cap's loaded dice Bullet Seed slaughters Rika's opening Whiscash, which immediately brings out Donphan, who might have done damage were it not for a missed Stone Edge that I overlooked when preparing for this fight. But obviously I overlooked it deliberately because I knew it wouldn't connect. Down with Donphan, Wugtrio does nothing but set up a sandstorm that fails to prevent us from snagging another KO. And I mean, it's completely safe to assume that Rika's Camerupt will just fire off a yawn, so I stay in and rip another Bullet Seed. 1, 2, a critical hit on the third tap, 4, and 5 gets the knockout. Crazy. While I could stay in and risk a crit on Cap against Clodsire, I decide to not push my luck and bring in Ironheart instead, who can only be touched by Liquidation, which doesn't do nearly enough damage to prevent us from finishing the job and winning the battle. Poppy's next, and things immediately get tenuous as Cap misses out on the kill against Caporaja, allowing her to post some stealth rocks that will make the switches that I'll need to do far more punishing. Case in point, I decide that it's too dangerous to try an Oko Corviknight, instead choosing to send in Thor. He's able to silence the bird, but Bronzong out third makes things a little awkward. My best bet? Throw it back to Cap.
Get this kill. Show it to me. Okay. Woo! Little toy. Little toy.
With Magnezone out fourth, I was hoping that Thor's Mudshot could seal the deal with 2 shots even through Light Screen. But then...
Oh, you're kidding.
Since we don't thaw on the first turn, or the second, I've got no choice but to send in Emma Frost for backup. Excellent. I switch to Quicksilver as Magnezone sets up another light screen, and with Bulldoze we can nail Magnezone hard, but then our foe's discharge paralyzes, meaning that Quicksilver's suddenly not so quick at all.
Got the trifecta, guys.
Attempting another Bulldoze is all I can do, so I let it fly and thankfully reap the rewards. A date with Poppy's terastallizing Tinkaton. Quicksilver, likely pissed off about the paralysis thing, tanks a Gigaton hammer and smacks the possessed doll with a surprisingly strong Bulldoze. So from here, Ironheart is just too much for a half-dead Tinkaton to manage. With a single Earthquake, there's just 2 more Elite Four members left. Larry meanders onto the battlefield to take Poppy's place, and already having defeated him once, I feel like I'm more than prepared to win this one. His lead Tropius goes down without a fight at all, Emma Frost's quad effective ice move proving far too strong. Staraptor's out next and about to use close combat, so a pivot through Pizza Dog gets Quicksilver in on a Brave Bird. I utilize one more switch back and forth between Pizza Dog and Quicksilver to get the extra close combat defense drops so that we can ensure the KO on Staraptor without taking any damage.
It's at -2. We're plus speed. We're just gonna spin out here. No! Okay. Woo! Woo! Woo!
It's fine. We're able to get right back on track as Altaria fires off a flamethrower on our switch to Pizza Dog. Pun intended. Trying to mitigate missing moves as much as possible here, I decide to switch into Emma Frost instead of ripping a Play Rough. Ice Shard packs up Cumulonimbus as well as Larry's adorable little pom-pom baby, which means that his last leg is Flamigo, pun intended even more. And my plan is identical to how I dealt with Staraptor, switching through Pizza Dog on close combat into Ironheart on Brave Bird, and then back to Pizza Dog on a second close combat. I now have our foe at -2 defense, right where I want him.
Hit it! Go Pizza Dog! Go Pizza Dog! Go! No, Pizza Dog! No! No! How did that not kill? That was so little damage.
I can't believe it. My best friend. How did this happen? From catching her as a baby Fido to watching her grow vicious, aggressive, jealous, until ultimately becoming the team's sweet, lovable leader. My heart aches knowing that Pizza Dog will never see the battlefield again. But her fighting spirit lives on in her teammates. Thor seeks swift revenge on our pup's killer, which pits me against the final member of the Elite Four, Hassel, the dreaded dragon trainer. Real shame we don't have a fairy type, huh? Fortunately, Emma Frost opens the fight with an ice shard that rips through Noivern, and she's even bulky enough to eat an iron head from Haxorus before slicing him up with an ice spinner. So up 2-0, Dragalge comes in third. And against the poison-type beast, I have Quicksilver set up a layer of toxic spikes, my only real answer to Hassel's horrifying Baxcalibur, though this does come at the price of a critical hit Hydro Pump. One more layer of spikes in exchange for one more Hydro Pump later, I switch to Thor as Dragalge lands his third hit in a row. I can heal with Slack Off to bring Thor back to full HP, but a couple Sludge Bombs in a row leaves Thor poisoned, meaning that I'm losing nearly half of my HP every turn. As I switch to Quicksilver on another Sludge Bomb, I just need something to tank Dragalge's final 2 Hydro Pumps. Now, of course, he lands the next one on Cap, who baits another Sludge Bomb that grants a safe switch back to Quicksilver for even more leftovers recovery, and you betcha, Hydro Pump goes 5 for 5 as I switch back into Thor. This fight is a disaster. My back is against the wall here, but with Dragalge finally out of Hydro Pumps, Quicksilver might be able to pull through. I just need a little bit of luck.
Flinch. Flinch with flinch. Flinch. Let's go! Ah! Okay. All right, Flapple. Now, I did kind of f*** up by getting rid of freaking Poison Jab here. If I had Poison Jab, we'd be good. It's okay, we're gonna flinch again right here. Ready? Flinch! Ooh, okay, we're fine though.
Now, instead of taking the kill, I intentionally hit Flapple with a Bulldoze. This ensures that I can switch to Ironheart and take the kill on the following turn, such that our Wiggly Warrior is in the best position to deal with the terastallizing Baxcalibur. His Brick Break hurts, but Rock Tomb drops the Mighty Dragon's speed. I try for another Ironhead flinch on the following turn, though this time it's unsuccessful, and Ironheart just narrowly avoids death. With a battered roster and a limited number of options, I have to do something. And that something is take a pee break. But once I'm back, Cat bravely enters the battlefield, and a Brick Break from Bax drops her down to just 18 HP. That survival grants us another turn of toxic damage, and by going for a protect, we inch even closer to victory. With one crunch, Cap takes out Baxcalibur, and the final fight of the Elite Four is officially behind us. We may have barely squeaked by and lost our most loyal companion in the process, but we were getting a shot at the champion battle. Geeta's team is usually a breeze, though for me and my 5 friends, she's got a couple of problems, especially when I find out that our fight will be taking place in the pouring rain. What is this, the chorus for Sparks Fly? At the very least, Emma Frost can still nail Espathra with a powerful avalanche and finish things off with a priority ice shard to even up the numbers. This also critically brings in King Gambit out second, so that his Supreme Overlord ability is only a marginal benefit. Unfortunately, we still got a bit of a problem. See, Cap was supposed to be able to switch in on King Gambit's Iron Head and retaliate with a super effective flamethrower, but thanks to the damn rain, I need another answer. And Ironheart plays the role of gap filler incredibly well here, leveraging her high defense stat to thwart King Gambit's attacks, while clearing the powerhouse with a few earthquakes. As Geeta's Avalugg comes in next, I can switch to Thor on a body press, and then use Volt Switch to both do some damage and help Ironheart gain back some HP. With Avalugg down to nearly 50%, Cap's free to take the floor and Flamethrower for the KO, even through the invisible rain. And then he chain kills Geeta's Vuvuzela with a single Seed Bomb as well. Unfortunately, Cap's not going to be able to win the matchup against Go-Goat with rain support, but if I switch now while he uses Bulk Up, I could be in real trouble. Petrified with 2 non-optimal plays in front of me, I decide to attack. No! Never worried. By switching to Emma Frost on another Zen Headbutt, we're able to get the knockout and face down Geeta's ace, Glimmora. Now, knowing that she won't go for a Rock-type Terra Blast on turn 1 since the AI sees it as a normal move prior to terastallization, it's safe to bring in Quicksilver on a Sludge Wave. Now baiting Earth Power, I bring in Ironheart, who has a quick snack that confuses Glimmora. And not in a status way. What I mean is that since Glimmora can't use his strongest move, the AI is now forced to randomly click another move instead. So we get Dazzling Gleamed over and over en route to an anticlimactic victory over the Paldean champ. We had won the challenge. Except that this is Pokemon Scarlet, so there are still 4 more critical battles before my Pokemon and I can ride off into the sunset. So, back at Naranja Academy, Penny reveals herself to be Cassiopeia. Sacre bleu! And vows to be the one Team Star member capable of defeating my misfit squad. But her opening Umbreon really can't touch Manspider, who, despite being a certified grass-fed sacrificial lamb for the entire run, simply will not die. Flareon is next, so I leverage a Silk Trap to drop his speed and have Caliban come in to clean up. Toxic Debris sets up spikes, and a combo of Acid Spray into Sludge Wave seals the deal. Out next, Vaporeon. With the Water Pup blasting powerful Hydro Pumps, I decide to reveal my secret weapon, Jeff. With her slender physique, Jeff can't be sniffed by Vaporeon's reckless pumps, dodging not 1 but 2 attacks en route to a trademark easy Jeff dub. Thor mudshots Jolteon with ease, and a poison jab from Quicksilver puts Leafeon out of her misery. So Penny's final Pokemon is the ultra-powerful Fairy Terra Sylveon, who uses Baby Doll Eyes. Super tough fight. Penny's battle prowess is simply unparalleled. Once I am free from one of Pokemon's greatest verbal headlocks, I fly back to Poco Path to face off against Arven. He opens with the chubby-cheeked Rhode Island resident Greedent, and I use Ironheart to absorb the first ground attack before swapping into Caliban to get Toxic Spikes on the floor. We do get a bit unlucky as a random Psychic Fangs results in a bit more damage than I wanted, but at least the spikes are up. Power Gem then defeats the Squirrel, baiting in Garganicle, who unfortunately sets up Stealth Rocks on my pivot back to Ironheart. Well, at least Ironheart trumps the personified rock, and Arven's Fire-type stomps onto the field. Caliban easily sops up the Fire Blast, though the big concern is whether or not he's faster. And thankfully, Venoshock hits before Scovillain can get off anything else. With Toadscruel now glaring us down, I opt to get Cap into the line of fire, and I'm pretty devastated that not only do we lose a quarter of our HP to Stealth Rocks, not only does Earth Power deal over half of my HP and damage through Assault Vest, but even after choosing to stay in and absorbing one more hit that brings us down to 5 HP, Cap misses his Fire Fang. Like I said, Pizza Dog's spirit lives on. So now I have to recalibrate. I bring in Ironheart to replace our friend, and with a few Iron Heads, she mows down our grassy foe. Cloyster is a weird mon for my team to deal with because I also have to prepare for Arven's Mabosstiff, whose Terra-boosted Dark-type attacks will hit aggressively hard. Fortunately, by switching to Thor and dropping Cloyster with Volt Switch, I'm able to get Claw in while only taking a sliver of damage from Stealth Rocks. So with that, the once-sick Mabosstiff joins the party. If only we had our own dog, like maybe a fairy type that has a known track record of hating other dogs and fighting them to the death. Alas, Claw will have to do. He's not a perfect matchup, though I was hoping that his strong physical bulk would still pull through, but Mabosstiff hits Claw with a crunch, drops his defense, procs our Anger Shell ability to lower his defenses even more, and then dodges a Rock Tomb. They're calling it the greatest choke of the decade. No, wait, the second greatest choke of the decade.
Honestly, do I kill Klawf for that? Do I just let this asshole die?
Despite the intrusive thoughts, I resist the urge, and pivots through Gambit and Ironheart allow us to send Arven's pup back to death's door via poison damage. So it all works out, but boy do I miss Pizza Dog. This has been a lot. I could really use a break here, so I call up an old friend. What's good, Poopy Crap, you busy? Along with Koraidon, the three of us enjoy a picnic and what seems to be an extremely unpleasant ham sandwich. But my mediocre craftsmanship still causes Poopy Crap to gain enough XP for a level up where the unexpected occurs.
Aww! Poopy Crap wants to evolve because he loves us? You Poopy Crap, you're not evolving.
The final battle against Nemona is next, and I would love to have a counter to her Skeledirge, but the Pokemon responsible for defeating him in every other fight up to this point is a ghost. So things could get tight here. Lycanroc is Nemona's first mon, so I, for the first time in the history of ever, actually had a use for Morph. Way to beat the never leaving the box allegations, buddy. Pawmot's next, and after a switch to Cap on a double shock, he rips a blistering critical hit close combat straight into Caliban's dome. Yes, toxic spikes are up, but unfortunately things are now quite dire. Unless Thor comes in and tanks a close combat like it's his job. Which it kind of is now, because by using Slack Off, we can stay healthy and rack up consistent defense drops until Pawmot runs out of PP on his strongest attack. And now that he's forced into using either Ice Punch or Quicksilver, Emma Frost makes simple work of the rodent, as an Ice Shard silences him from full HP in one hit. Granted, he was at -5 defense. Bringing Cap in to spray the special defensively frail Orthworm with Flamethrower picks up another quick kill, so Goodra joins the fight as Nemona's fourth Pokemon, who Emma Frost can simply spin out in just one hit. Thor stalls Dudunsparce until he's almost dead to poison damage, and even uses Volt Switch on our foe's final turn alive to set up for the perfect endgame. Morph versus Skeledirge.
Oh! Shadow Ball? He's got it! Wow, he wouldn't have even died to a crit! Oh my god, Morph is a legend. We're so bringing Morph to the Alsada fight. See ya, sucker! You just got morphed! Morph, 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 morph. All right, new best friend. Just unlocked a new best friend.
With Nemona defeated, only the fight against Alsada remains. And throughout this playthrough, one of the more tragic stories is the meteoric falloff of Claw, who technically attended the fight against Nemona, but attended being the operative word because he did not participate. And combining that with his performance against Arven, this actively sparks a chat uprising, a cacophony of voices campaigning to send Claw to his grave. They crave catharsis through violence, an all too human feeling, and it falls to me to decide whether I should honor their wishes. But I am nothing if not fair, and like a gladiator in the Colosseum, I decide that Claw should have a chance to live. So as the fight against Alsada begins, Claw has to rise up or die. First, though, Alsada brings in Slitherwing, so I send out Emma Frost, hoping to outspeed and one-shot with a bounce. Neither is the case, so my whale takes a lot more damage than I was expecting through 2 attacks. And don't even get me started on how much damage I take from Fluttermane Mystical Firing Quicksilver. Even with the immediate KO via spin-out, things are already starting to get tight. Brute Bonnet is third, which means that somehow, someway, Manspider has justified his spot on the roster. It's not every day you get to bring a Route 1 bug to the final fight of the game. I mean, what a redemption arc for an arachnid I once overlooked as a meaningless pickup. Manspider eviscerates Brute Bonnet. Okay, I mean, somehow a quad effective X-Scissor doesn't get the Oko, but whatever. With another slice and dice, Sandy Shocks takes the stage. So the question is, can Morph take them down in one hit?
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Triple dive. Surging strikes at home. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was so bad, dude. That was Mystic Water boosted.
Rest in pieces, Morph, all 3 of you. Emma Frost avenges our fallen friend, and Screamtail joins the fight. Manspider waffles between Silk Trapping to drop Screamtail's speed and X-Scissoring to do minimal damage. Eventually, Quicksilver comes in on a quad-resisted Play Rough and delivers the final blow, which leaves Alsada with her final Pokemon, Roaring Moon. Is it finally time for Claw to prove himself? With some thought, I decide to bring in Ironheart first. 2 Rock Tombs have Roaring Moon speed, and an Ironhead chips them below 50%. So now the timing is right.
All right, Klawf. It's your moment. Can you get this kill? Show me the kill, Klawf. He did it! Oh, and the crit!
Perhaps I tipped the odds a little too much in his favor, but with that, Claw has clutched up to win us not just the battle against Alsada, but the entire Pokemon Scarlet Snaplock. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and an extra special thanks to those of you who voted. Snaplocks are always a blast, and they only work because you all show up and participate. If you want extra votes in the next Snaplock, be sure to become a channel member or a Patreon supporter. A link can be found in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Or don't, I don't know, but let me know what other Snaplocks you'd like to see. Stay tuned for more Nuzlocke content, and until then, remember to always, always, always play around the critical hit.